Bon Bay.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Earlier this week I hit my 1-year anniversary of being in Togo. I would say that I hit my halfway point of service. However, Peace Corps is kind of annoying and it doesn't count your 2-year sentence, I'm in service, until after your official swear-in ceremony. So even though the first 3 months of training were definitely my hardest time here in Togo, it doesn't count. So still gotta wait until August until then, but all is well. Anywho, I've been cooking up this idea for several months now that I'd like my second Toglog to be a day in the life where you can see my compound, my village, and my daily routine. And I was specifically waiting until mid-June to do this because I had a baby. And I specifically wanted to wait to show my routine as a single mother. Yes. No, the time did not change, your time changed. But because I waited, it's now summer, so I don't go to school, so it kind of looks like I just never work or do anything. So I thought that maybe instead of doing a day in the life, I would instead do a week in the life, because I kind of like to space out my activities. Like on Saturdays, sometimes I'll go to Palme or Otakpalme, the 2 closest cities, and Sunday I do my laundry. And Monday, I go to the market and get groceries. And then for the rest of the week, maybe I'll paint a picture or drink a smoothie. However, as I started to record the week, I came across 2 problems. Number 1, it's really hard to record yourself throughout an entire week, especially whenever your week is low-key really boring and very repetitive. And by the second day, I was already starting to feel like Squidward in that episode that he moves to Tentacle Acres. Until I came across my second problem, was that it was actually not a typical week at all. It was a particularly bad week. And I was gonna make a video explaining why that was, but that rant wound up being 12 minutes alone. So instead I'm just gonna clip together some of the highlights and hopefully you get the gist.
I'm currently in LOMÉ, the capital of Togo. I was like, hey, I've had something in my eye for like 3 days now. And I walked to first ATM, not working. So like several miles, get there, ATM also not working. In so much pain, I literally was walking like this the entire time. We want you to come to LOMÉ right now, can you do that? And I was like, okay, I can ask these other people, it's okay, I'll ask these other people. And she's like, yeah, ask them first. And at this point I'm starting to cry. And so then I call that person, and then she doesn't pick up. And then I'm like, with all the money that I had left, which wasn't much, I used it all to buy a single roll of toilet paper because I was completely out, so that this girl could have toilet paper whenever she came to stay at my house and watch Gumbo for one night. Oh no, Togolese red flag. Because I waited in that car, alone, in the heat, with no air conditioning, because there's never air conditioning, for an hour. Hey guys, my eye feels better. I don't really want to go. I've been sitting in this car for like a full hour. I don't want to spend the money going to LOMÉ. Like, no, we want you to come to LOMÉ. And I was like, okay, I need to leave like now. And so I start to like motion to the door, and then he just starts driving off. And I was like, why weren't we doing this in the first place? He drives to a taxi station. We sit there, wait for several minutes at a taxi station, nothing happens. Then he takes a full circle back to where we were before. And then this happens several times. Then we have to stop the car every single time there is somebody on the side of the road until it is completely full. And by completely full, I mean that there is 4 people in the back seat and me and somebody else are sharing the passenger seats. I did have windshield wipers. I also looked so disheveled. Absolute mess. I smelled bad. I was stinky. I was sweaty. I also don't know if they're going to be able to speak French or English. So I was like, and then the doctor was flirting with me. And that's how I was starting to catch the vibe. And then he asked for my number, and I was like, oh, okay, like for medical reasons. And then he was like, no, what's your WhatsApp number? I was like, and so like, let's go out, blah, 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 blah. So, no. Get to the hotel, they're asking me for my ID. I can't find it. I left it at the ophthalmologist. Haven't eaten literally all day. So then I was like, okay, I'll order something else. And so then I do, and it's not letting me place an order. And it's like, the app is glitching. And I waited for a full hour. And so then I just didn't eat. Oh, and now I have to put in eye drops, and I hate eye drops. My eye is fine, by the way. I guess I should have explained that. My eye is fine. I just have a irritation in my cornea, so I probably got something in my eye, and then I wasn't able to get it out in time, and now it's like irritated. And I'm supposed to go to a checkup too, and I don't want to. I really don't want to go back to LOMÉ. I don't think I will, to be honest. I think I'm just going to tell them no.
Luckily, I still did have to make a day in the life video for my boss because I'm on the social media committee. So here's the quick little video, quick little nibble of my life for you. Hello and welcome to a day in the life of a teach volunteer in Togo. I wake up with the sunrise and take my dog Gumbo on a walk. It's important to go early so that way it's not too hot for him. After our little walk, the two of us both have breakfast, him dog food, and I scramble some eggs for myself. Normally, this is when I would start going to school, and I would work from 7 to 12 teaching Synkium, which is kind of like 7th grade, but since it's summer break, I have more time to do some chores, and I at least have one student to teach during the summer. This is a joke. I promise I tutor other people over the summer. Then after puppy playtime, I like to do some drawing. At around 11, we both have lunch. Then, since it's Monday, I'm headed into town for market day. I first stop by the ATM to get some cash, and then I go to the post office to drop off 2 letters, as well as find out that I actually received 2 letters today. And this is my market. I can find pretty much anything I need here, but if not, then there's also a good-sized boutique that has a lot of other stuff. On my walk back home, my student gave me this handmade fan, which I really needed because it was super hot. When I got home, I cooled down by reading my letters and enjoying some good old fan time. Then we went on our second walk of the day right before sunset, where Gumbo was introduced to a new friend. And then I wind down by having some dinner, taking a shower, and watching TV with Gumbo right before bed. And that's my average day. So since I'm not gonna give a deeper analysis of my week, I instead figured I'll just give a quick little update of what's been going on since the last Toglog. So the first thing that happened after the last video was I went to IST, which I don't really know what that stands for, but it was another training for 3 weeks in December, and it was so nice. The weather was actually really nice. It was harmattan season, so all of like the Saharan winds come, which sounds horrible, and it kind of is because it's really dry and there's no rain, but the mornings are actually very cool. And so like I woke up cold, which was really awesome. Plus I was surrounded by my friends the whole entire time. I wasn't stressed for the first time while I was at the training center, so I could actually like appreciate having 3 cooked meals every single day, and plumbing and running water and all that good stuff. And it was also a lot of fun. We had our own Christmas party. We had a secret Santa, and the language tutors actually cooked with us, so we had like a very special meal, and it was a lot of fun. And then as soon as IST was over, I went to America for the first time, my first time leaving Togo since I've been here. And it was only for a week long, and it was so amazing. Literally, I couldn't imagine a better trip. I guess the only thing that would make it better is if it was longer, which I already made a video about it. So. And then I came back to Togo on January 2nd, which is actually Gumbo's birthday. And that was my least favorite day of the entire year. It was extremely hard to come back home. I cried for several days straight and was pretty depressed for about 2 weeks, until I started to get back into the getting back into the swing of things. Just because it was, you know, I looked forward to it for 6 months straight, and then knowing that the countdown starts all over again was disheartening, especially because the next time that I'm going to America is actually in August, so I have to wait even longer. But that's okay, we're almost there, a month and a half out. And as soon as I got over that, somebody got sworn into office, and that has been stressful for a number of reasons. Stressful to feel like an outsider and just reading the news and being not happy with certain things going on, but also very stressful as specifically a Peace Corps volunteer, because watching USA go under and AmeriCorps also taking like massive cuts, it literally felt like every other week I was convinced I would be sent home every other day. And I'm just now starting to feel a little bit confident, but even now, I still don't feel great about it. So that's been really stressful. And it's also been hard to do service with that because I feel very nihilistic and apathetic at times, because it's hard to want to like set roots or start new projects when you're like, well, what's the point if I'm gonna leave tomorrow? Also, a lot of all of our trainings got postponed, which we eventually did have them. They did come back, but I was really counting on some of them because it was like the longest continuous stretch I'd been in Village without any kind of training center time, and not good. Plus, during all of this, after Harmattan season was just awful. It was just dry and hot all day, every day, no relief, horrible. But like I said, the trainings did eventually come back, and I've had 3 trainings, one in March for Peer Support Network, because I'm now in the Peer Support Network, and that was a lot of fun. One in April for tech training, so I'm gonna help the new cohort that just arrived earlier this week learn how to teach. And then our third one was about grant projects, and that was in May. And in between all that stuff, you know, even though times were tough, I actually did a lot of really cool stuff as well. For example, I climbed the highest mountain in Togo, Mount Agu, and that was like really surprisingly super cool and beautiful. If you look up Mount Agu on Google, you don't see like a ton of pictures, and it kind of just looks like, oh, whatever, but like the mountain itself is like pretty cool, but like what really is captivating is the villages, how they're like built literally just like on a mountain, and watching people live their daily lives like on such a steep incline and like carrying like buckets of water on their head while climbing a mountain is absolutely insane. Like that should be an Olympic sport. Crazy. That was the hardest hike I've ever been on. I was huffing and puffing, but it was so worth it. It was so cool. I also went to this place called Goldeneye, which we were low-key scammed. Not by Goldeneye, but this guy that was pretending to be Goldeneye, and apparently he has his own hotel, or at least he claims to have his own hotel on the same mountain, but it was kind of sketchy. But we got to be at this hotel on the top of a mountain and go camping. It got rained out. And I went ziplining, and that was really cool and very fun. Then after the third training, I went to Anejo, which is a beach town 30 minutes away from the capital, and it is just being able to see the beach was so nice. And we also had like really nice restaurants for every single meal. My bank account is still reeling from this experience. I am very excited for my next paycheck. But yeah, Anejo was beautiful, and it was just so nice to like swim in the ocean, see the ocean, and stay at a really cool Airbnb with friends. Yeah, Anejo was definitely my favorite memory of this year, and honestly, probably of Togo in general. And number 2, I would say, is Mount Agu. And obviously, I got my dog, Gumbo, and that was great. Got him only a few weeks ago, and he is the love of my life. He is so sweet, so cute. I've been potty training him and teaching him lots of tricks. So that's been keeping me busy over the summer, which I really need something to be keeping me busy over the summer because I'm really bored. I got him from Ghana. I found a man. So the hotel owner of this hotel that we ate at in Anejo also has a pug. And so I reached out to him and I was like, where'd you get your pug? And he said he knows a guy from Ghana who can bring it over. And so that's what I did. And I spent half of my allowance on it. How's the work? Well, the Togolese school system is cut into trimesters, and the first trimester was really fun. The second trimester was fun for the most part, challenging near the end. And then the third trimester, it was so bad. It's only a few weeks long, and it's cut even shorter because they decide to have their compositions, which is basically just their finals. And after finals, nobody does anything. So I only had like 3 weeks of school before their finals, and we had to cover so much material. We were so behind because the curriculum is so long, and there's just way too much stuff that I will never be able to get to.
We are fucked, and nobody seems to care. Oh my, we need a full factory fucking reset. Hit the fucking button and get everybody out of there. You're all fucking fired. You're all fucking...
And on top of the fact that we were already cut for time, there was also like several holidays in between them, so we took off even more class time. And on top of all of that, the kids were just so ready to be done, and nobody was paying attention. I could not get the class under control at all that trimester, and the grades reflected that. So not fun to end on a low note, but that is the reality. And honestly, I feel bad, but like right now I'm kind of in a bit of a bitter place because my original plan was to kind of keep up a summer English club going on, but I got just so fed up with the students the last few weeks that like I don't want to look at them. Like I'm actually really, really annoyed with them, and I just need the time and space away so that I can be like fully recharged and ready to do it again next year. I'm taking some Megan time because that was rough. So what's next? This summer, I have a few things that I need to be doing. I need to be doing stuff for Peer Support Network. I need to be calling and texting people, which I need to be doing that year round, but I need to actually lock in and do that this month because I haven't yet. Number 2, we are starting our grant projects, and so I'm gonna be trying to build some extra classes because my middle school is actually turning into a middle school and high school, so we're getting like 300 new students and we have 0 space for them. So no pressure. I'm also gonna be giving 3 talks in America, hopefully. And those 3 talks will actually give me 3 vacation days so that I can use later. And I'm trying to convince everyone to meet me in Ireland for Christmas. And so fingers crossed that happens because that would be super cool. Oh, in a few weeks, I will be going to the training center to help the new cohort, and I'll meet them, and I'm very excited about meeting them. Me and the other Teach volunteers are also compiling a list of ways to improve the English curriculum, because there's actually quite a few misspelled words or incorrect grammar that is being taught. And then after the summer, I'm actually gonna have to like start really locking in and figuring out what is next for Megan. I don't know. But in general, happiness, 5 out of 10. Tired, ready to go home already. But I am halfway done, so that is something to celebrate, and it's very exciting. And I have faith that the next year will go by faster. And this quarter was significantly better than last quarter. Even though I'm whining this video, it's a lot better than last quarter. So I feel like we're just gonna have like a kind of a gradual increase like this with a lot of highs and lows, but it's increasing. Life is getting better, I think. So anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.